a haunted fort, hidden deep in a dense forest, known as the Black Dungeon Fort. For centuries, the fort has been abandoned, and those who dared enter its grounds were never seen again. It is said that something lurks within the fort's walls, something beyond human understanding. A curse, a darkness so terrifying that even death shivers at its touch. In the dead of night, screams echo from the fort. These are not human screams, but the cries of the souls trapped there for centuries. The villagers from nearby are too frightened to even glance toward the fort after dark, for anyone who ventures close has experienced the most horrifying night of their life. In the dead of night, the heavy rusted iron gate of the fort slowly creaks open by itself. The screeching sound sends chills through the air as the birds in the sky fall into a sudden silence. A cold wind sweeps through the forest, rattling the leaves. Inside the fort, something awaits, ready to devour anyone who dares to enter. Four friends, Sam, Lucy, Mike, and Emma, have come to the fort for an adventure. But what they don't realize is that this adventure might just be the last mistake of their lives. Sam, a historian fascinated by mysterious places and ghost stories, knows there's something terrifying inside the fort. Yet his curiosity has driven him here. Lucy believes all of this is nonsense, often joking that ghosts don't exist. Mike, a YouTuber, wants to capture the fort for his horror video series. Emma, Sam's girlfriend, is terrified inside but tries her best to stay calm. The mystery of the fort. It is said that a princess once lived in this fort, and her own father had her bricked alive within its walls. Her soul still roams the fort, killing anyone who dares set foot inside. Her wrathful spirit has left traces all over the fort's walls, and soon, Sam, Lucy, Mike, and Emma are about to discover that these stories are not just myths, they are real, building suspense and fear. As they step inside the fort, the heavy door slams shut behind them, as if sealing their fate. A strange, uneasy feeling spreads through them, though no one speaks a word. The air inside the fort feels thick, heavy, as if some invisible force is watching them. There's an odd rustling in the corners, like footsteps, but no one is there. Mike is filming everything with his camera, but what his camera captures is not what their eyes see. At one moment, Lucy feels a cold hand on her shoulder. She spins around in shock, but no one is there. Her breathing quickens, and she realizes this isn't just a game. Suddenly, Sam disappears. His scream echoes through the fort, sending waves of terror through the group. The remaining three frantically search for him, but he's nowhere to be found. Then, they see something scrawled in blood on an ancient wall. No one leaves. Emma is on the verge of a breakdown. She can barely hold it together, but Mike and Lucy try to calm her down. Just then, Mike's camera shuts off on its own, and as he looks at the screen, a terrifying shadow appears. It's the cursed princess, moving toward them. Eventually, they find Sam in a dark dungeon, but he is no longer the same. His eyes have turned completely black, and his voice is strange, distorted. He mutters, "This place will never let me go." Lucy screams, "That's not Sam! We need to get out of here!" But it's too late. Sam has been fully consumed by the curse. Suddenly, there's a loud bang behind the door, and blood begins to seep from the walls. The shadow of the cursed princess materializes before them, her eyes filled with rage and vengeance. As she moves closer, the walls of the fort begin to tremble. Screams echo from every corner. Suddenly, everything goes silent. Only Mike survives, escaping the fort and running into the dense forest. But just as he reaches the edge of the woods, a cold gust of wind makes him stop in his tracks. He feels a cold hand on his shoulder. He slowly turns around, and his eyes widen in terror. On his camera screen, he sees that he is not alone. The shadow of the princess stands right behind him. Think this haunted fort gave you chills? You won't believe what we uncovered at the abandoned haunted asylum. If you're brave enough, click here to watch our spine-chilling journey through one of the most terrifying asylums in history. You may want to leave the lights on for this one. If you liked this story, please comment and like the video and subscribe to the channel.